So as always, timestamps exist in case you want to move forward. I just wanted to show off this part from moving on from Super Creek, because all that happened beforehand was that I was doing a lot of bond training. Just to explain really quickly, and just really quickly as well, I'm working on a formal video. Maybe I'll complete it by tomorrow, we'll see what happens, but I want it to be more all-encompassing, which is not possible. But I want it to be generally helpful as we get into the Super Creek run here. Also, excuse my recording. I'm not working with the best setup, but it's the only way I can record it. So as we go to Kikuka Sho, and you can't, if you stop in the middle of a race, it will bring you right back, so thankfully that happens. But otherwise, yeah, timestamps in case you want to skip forward towards a certain goal. I usually have my timestamps for Musume, at least for the global server here, cut into goals. I need some kind of timestamp. I think it helps out. And yeah, just trying to do my best. As you can see here, you can definitely do a lot better than the support cards. So one part of this is that I only did a 10 scout on the regular support banner once. And you should do it more than that. You get about 30, 40 free pulls, 50 if you want to stretch far, but I wouldn't recommend it because everyone is saving for a Kito-san Black SSR. So the support card. If you don't know what that is, it's a support card that you are heavily advised to save for. I might only get one copy. You actually want to at least limit break it once from what I've seen. Other people tell you to max limit break it, but that I'm thinking more of as a free to play. So it's possible. It's certainly possible, and if you get lucky, but if we're assuming you're not lucky, bad things happen. Also, we'll switch to Super Creek talk in a moment here, but yeah, that's the only thing. So you can definitely do better than these support cards. Over half of the trainers I've seen and or heard or read about in the community or otherwise, or just watched elsewhere, they have you have better support cards than this. You're supposed, for Super Creek specifically, you should be going with more stamina cards. As you can see here, I'm just using the 2 free-to-play SSR stamina cards and then just using 4 stamina because I was feeling particularly lucky today. I'm also doing an inspiration loop at this point. There's a specific phrase I'm forgetting because I just crammed a bunch of information while I was working. So, and for those who don't know, really quickly, I'm trying to develop a game, so I'm an indie game dev. But in the meanwhile, I can tap and have Super Creek do stuff. So that being said, can we see it through the sparks now? We have to wait, but we're in the Super Creek slump. I've seen a lot of people ask about Super Creek's Under the Weather debuff. I'm pretty sure you're just supposed to wait until later in the story, which means, yes, you do deal with the 3%. I think it's real, too. If nothing else, as we sit here, and yes, my Super Creek is built as a frontrunner, but be aptitude, but it works out. But yeah, you have to wait till a certain part of the story, and if you can actually get rid of it through temple recreation, then I've been to the temple 3 or 5 times just to test it out, and it doesn't work. So, or I've been unlucky is what is the more exact phrase. So, as we sit here, yeah, so we have B aptitude in frontrunner. I decided, hey, let's build a frontrunner Super Creek. That will make things easier. That's why I have 4 stamina. Otherwise, usually I see people end up going or gravitating to 4 stamina cards and 2 speed. But hey, I think the only outlier here is that I'm using I followed a fully limit broken SR speed here, which helps out immensely actually. So I'll go over the effect as we're sitting here, and then yeah, we get rid of Under the Weather once you do the Kikuka Sho. Oh my goodness, my voice blundered all over. But once you do this goal, it should go away. But you are dealing with 3% failure rate while you're also doing summer training, which is not great. But again, at this point, if you're not where I am and you're not just trying to do URA finals just for at least doing URA finals, then you don't really need to worry because even if you fail 1, maybe even 2 turns, you'll get a lot more stats. Like, people are already on the inspiration grind for good reason, and this includes free-to-plays. I'm just doing things because I'm experimenting here and there, which is not good to do. So, my guts is a bit high, though. I should just do stamina here. And yeah, if nothing else to pull, if you were to learn nothing else in this video, the only thing you should learn is that, yeah, Super Creek has a lot of very long races, meter-wise. I think at least 2 of them are 3,000 meters plus, which means your stamina threshold is a lot higher. Essentially, you want to go probably even pushing 600 if I recall. I can't remember because I read 3 different sources of stamina requirements, Some of them are updated, but for the most part, they're all correct. It's in the ballpark of 500 to 600 stamina minimum, and that includes if you're using skills, or actually it does include that you're using skills here and there. What am I doing here? I might even just want to rest. We can get a better rainbow training, and I'm doing a little speed stamina scaling here. Again, if you had better support cards, if you had better strategies, and if you're lucky, or if you're lucky, you don't need to be floundering around as much as I am. But we didn't get a rainbow training, so I'm just sad. So I guess instead we will do something else. I guess we'll just try to hit max spawns here. Although they're orange bonds, we can already proc rainbow training. It's just nice to get them to max. I think the proc rates increase for rainbow training if they're at max as opposed to orange, but hey, we'll see what happens. So I'll take energy here. But yeah, in terms of micromanaging things around your turns, there is a question to be said of, you know, whether or not in the amount of turns that you have, you want to do certain things. Also, yes, these judgments are kind of accurate, but they don't take into account. I don't think they take into account skills, and they don't take into account your style. So, hence why, yeah, even though I may be lacking the power, I'm a front runner, so I shouldn't usually need to worry. So while we're letting this race rock, because unless I get a late start, yeah, if there's anything else to learn from this video, especially if you're not on the grind of inspirations, basically, if your stats are not already at like 500, 600 by now, or if you're just building into speed like 900 around this point, I don't know about Super Krieg, but other Musume you can definitely be that high. Then yeah, you need to worry about getting late starts. But that didn't happen, so I can just go somewhere else. So yeah, Aishin Flash here, you get the bonuses that help out immensely, especially for specialty priority, so you can go to, I think they're more likely to go towards speed training or whatever training that their style is. Initial Friendship Gauge I personally likes because it's easier to get bonds. Increase to orange so that you can do rainbow training earlier. The flat speed gain is nice for modifiers, and then yeah, mood effect, friendship training effectiveness bonus that helps your stats out immensely as well. Even if they're not, oh actually no, is it mood effect? Yeah, mood effect when training together. So even if you're not doing speed training with Aishin Flash, I think how it works is if you're say doing power training and Aishin Flash is there, you'll get a bonus effect. And if that's not true, well, again, still trying to hammer this stuff into my head. But the other things about hints and stuff help out as well, so hey. What I'm worried about is not having enough stamina, but I also need the speed as well. It's very finicky for me at this stat level, or with the stats I have that I can reliably get, because, yeah, if I lack on stamina, obviously you just kaput all the way to the back. If you're missing on speed, you end up in 3rd or 4th place, so either way you lose the race when you're optimally you want to be in 1st place every time. So as you can see here, we are getting passed up by Mayano Top Gun, but again, we're still doing a thing. As you can see, yeah, all 3 free-to-play SSRs, although this one, as I mentioned before, is from the event. If you start the game now, maybe tomorrow you can still get a few copies, but I don't know if you're going to be able to limit break anymore. Alternatively, more power would help out as well, just for acceleration during the last spurt. Guts as well, but Guts is less valuable anyway, so I think it's mostly, well, power here, really. Power and speed. I think this is a power and speed problem from what I can see. So, as we get 5th here, we have to clock. I could swap my style, but I think we're stuck on front runner. So, yeah, we are missing style, and yeah, these judgments are pretty much correct as well. So, I really do want to be better. It's possible to win with that. It's just not as likely. And if you only have like 1 clear triangle, it's not very likely, regardless. So, and partly this, I mean, I'll if I have to clock again, oh, we got late start. Then I'll switch styles, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to help me out. So, we'll skip to the end here. It would be nice, but I think Ogre Cap or someone, yeah, here she comes. But if I can stay, I think it's top 3. I don't even remember my own goals, but yeah, there she goes. We're getting passed up. So if we stay in front and Super Creek's just, no one passes Super Creek in 2nd, we should be okay still. Otherwise, I hope I get 3rd, if nothing else. Yeah, 3rd. So, do we actually need to win this one? Okay, no. So, fewer skills, but I mean, sure. Speed skills probably could have helped out, but I didn't know I was going to be losing that badly. Yeah, well, that wasn't that bad of a loss, but hey, we at least got through the goal. Now, Arima Kinen, on the other hand, or sorry, Osaka Hai, on the other hand, Saintly Awakening. Is that just energy? It is. I made a mistake! I thought we had a longer race somewhere. No, that's medium. So we don't need speed here, but if you do one stamina trading, and it's not so bad, because we will need it for this 3,000 meter race sitting in Tenno Sho Spring. 3,200 meters specifically. So preferably 450 stamina minimum. And we don't have a single rainbow training, so I'm just sitting here being sad. Oh man. I don't even know how many turns I have yet. I haven't remembered, but at least we get our energy back with the raffle time. That's always around late January. So, as long as it's not a tissue, hey. Here though, we'll do stamina. Hopefully we get another speed one. We have 4 speed supports, and I think at least 2 of them are maxed. Yeah, Silent Suzuka and Asian Flash are maxed. Do we have enough fans? No, we don't. No, the skill. There is a fan threshold. It's a fan threshold for upgrading the unique skill. I think it starts at 20,000, but then the threshold increases to get further upgrades. You can get disconnected upgrades, so if you suddenly get 70,000 fans, I think 70,000 fans in the last possible upgrade event, you can still upgrade. Like, again, if I missed every single one until the last one, we would have level 2. But, again, I'm shrugging in real life as I say. That's probably not your biggest worry as you're sitting here with where I'm at. Do I want to gamble here? 14%. Okay, good. That's the risk for today. I don't often like taking risks like that, so hey. But we apparently do need. Well, we'll take a speed. We don't. Yeah, I think we'll. No, we're not pace chaser. I guess all we got are speed, so we can at least concentrate on stamina after this, if we have turns left, because I don't remember how far away the next race is, assuming we get through this one. Place top 3. But anywho. But yeah, just really quickly, yeah, on Super Creek, I didn't do really much. Right up until the goal in which you get under the weather for the first time, I was just doing bond training. So by that I mean I was looking for trainings in which I could increase the most bond friendships. So there's that. But other than that, yeah, during under the weather I was doing a few rainbow trainings, so that's it. And then as you can see here, we did upgrade. I did buy uncaps for both of them. It is to your long-term benefit to go for the stars, but I figure I wanted this now. I think both of them give flat guts bonus 1. That's not good, but you gotta take the good where it's at, and that is I don't need to concentrate on, I don't need to think about getting guts as much. So if I happen to do guts training with either of these 2 supports there, then it's fine. So that being said, what are my skills at the moment? So we have, also on top of that, I do consider myself somewhat like very lucky, because you're not always granted things like Practice Perfect and Fast Learner. Shining Brightly comes after you get through Under the Weather, so that's a Super Creek specific scenario event. But other than that, yeah, we have 3 small skills, but we don't have any gold stamina skills, so shrug. And obviously, because I'm using Super Creek, I can't use Super Creek's support card. So let's find out. If we stay in front, then they're gonna be trapped behind, and I don't have to worry at all. If they pass, then we get past. As Meijiro McQueen pulls from the outside, Tokai Teo seems like she is pulling forward as well. So let's find out if we keep. By the way, I'm also looking at the speed increases. Oh, second place. There is quite a big fan boost difference if you get second, but I'll stick with it because I just want to survive as long as possible. This is my first Super Creek in a while, but As you can see from the legacies here, I'm setting up legacies to essentially go back to my gold ship. Although I need to work on the other side. So Super Creek is the first inheritance for my upcoming gold ship. The next one will be another Simply Rudolph, which I think I've already done an El Condor Pasa. And yeah, I definitely just did an Agnes Tachyon. That didn't go so well. I mean, the Machikane Fukuki Taru didn't go well as well, as you can see from the rank. But I think, wasn't there something that I wanted? Yeah, well, Pace Chaser, but really you want to reach URA championships, but I'm just starting the cycle now. Yeah, so immediately 1 turn left, and yeah, there's no way I'm going to gamble on that. We don't even have Rainbow Training for stamina, so we're just going to cross our fingers and pray. And rip Sleep Deprived, so even if I get past this race, I don't get a lot from it. Well, this could be the end here. So you want a little, in my opinion, I think you want a little bit more stamina here, at least. Again, to note, again, during the URA scenario, you are given essentially ghost stats to help you out. So in terms of stamina, I think it's 400 plus stamina ghosted on top of whatever you have. So I effectively have 819 stamina. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you're racing outside of the URA scenario, at least, then you need more stamina. Again, for example, if this race requires, say, 900 stamina, and I have 400 stamina, then I effectively have 800 stamina for this 900 stamina race. But I'm struggling in real life, as I say. That's the URA scenario modifier, I guess. But overall, it makes things easier. Now, that being said, that doesn't guarantee I'll win, but if I get my speed to at least 600, then we should be pretty okay speed-wise. That's all you really need to win more reliably, but obviously it depends on the races too. Longer races require more stamina. Power if you are using a style that requires you to pass more or accelerate more because you have to pass, so on and so forth. And then wits as needed. Guts has an effect, but it is by far not the most important one here. So it would be nice for you to proc more, but I know your wits is not high either. I don't remember the exact values for wits. It was, I keep wanting to say wisdom, but wits to proc rates. But essentially 300, 400 wits is where you want to be at. You can do more if you want to meme or just make use of skills, but again, for the sake of URA finals, there are other things to worry about. Oh man, please. No, you need to proc more skills. You're losing ground. Well, corner recovery, we want one of the speed ones to hit as well, but one of them is going to hit later at the end. I think one of them can be proccing now, but I guess we're going to find out. Again, our wits is not that high, so it might actually be at 300, but still, I would like it a bit higher. I think it goes up, skill proc rates based on wits effectively goes up to like 90-92% at 1,000 wits. Meanwhile, at like 800 to 600 wits, it's like still at 80-85%. So you can kind of see the curve of wits to skill proc rate overall, in general. But again, that's just me saying it. If you go look on websites or other people who have done extensive research that carried from the Japanese server and are likely active in the global server, then those numbers are the exact accurate. Basically, if you want to look up this stuff, you can look it up yourself. Now let's hope that we don't get passed by Meijiro McQueen or Simply Rudolph, because boy, if I see a velocity proc on Simply Rudolph, I'm just gonna throw up my hands and put my money down on not getting first. But let's find out. There it is. There it is. Let's see how fast she gets. We are a bit ways ahead, but that can easily. Okay, good. I think we win. Never mind. I would have bet wrong. Don't hurt me, robots. I'm just saying that. Hey, nice deep breaths at about like 50 meters from the finish line. But hey. But yeah, there's a lot of the game to learn. It's not the hardest. I personally don't think Uma Musume is the hardest to pick up, but it definitely still has a lot of meat in its sandwich. That was a weird way to phrase it, but I think you get what I'm trying to say here. So, I think was that the longest race we have? I don't think so, actually. In fact, well, as we move to URA finals, those might be the longest races, but I don't remember. I think this is actually this would be my first long URA final. Nope, that's a medium. This is long for sure, but it's not as long as what we just went through. So we can concentrate on speed. That's what I'm trying to say. Now 11%. We're gonna gamble again. No! Oh, that was not good. Rip turns, practice poor, and pain. Well, well, well. If it isn't the consequences of my actions. So, does that just remove it overall? It does, huh? Well, we do get a second summer training, but yeah, we did lose a lot of turns. We lost a lot of turns. So, I'm not gonna bet on the fact that we'll get a mood increasing event, so we're just gonna increase it ourselves. That's overkill. And Claw Machine time, so never mind, but I didn't know. Claw Machine is definitely an event. I don't think it's as rare as the Acupuncture, but it is certainly still an event you don't always see. Hey, Gold Chip. I didn't actually look at the last one, if it was a giant doll waiting for me. Hey. Otherwise, your quick little guide for this is that you just want to hit the middle. So you want this center part of the crane of that circle to land on the center of the doll's positioning. So as we go for Gold Chip again, that's kind of over to the right, but we should still be okay. Again, if you imagine just the center of the doll, that's where you want to pick it up. Or at least the doll that you can see, because that was obviously off-center-ish, but it was centered up as needed. And sometimes there can be plush toys underneath, but you don't know for sure. Like that. So, that, though, I think is pretty much random, but if you center it, then you should at least get one doll, which is the most important thing. And that's my 5th time playing the Claw Machine. So, anywho. You get a skill hint from this. I think you can get better if you get more dolls plus a big cute, but as it is here, it's fine. Out of curiosity, what even do I have? Straightaway recovery, and that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. So, because again, we're running a front runner Super Creek, so yeah. We might want a little bit more stamina, but until we get a golden training, I won't touch. I'll try not to touch stamina. If I find wits instead, that'll be nice, but as you can see, I didn't use a single wits. Also, I was supposed to rest. I completely forgot about that. Well, hey. Well, this is gonna be interesting. That was a mistake. Yeah, I made a mistake. I was supposed to rest. I did not rest, but did we do friendship training the turn before summer training? Well, either way, we're going to take a look here, and that's unfortunate. So, we're going to rest, and I'm going to go for 2 speed training, if they're rainbow. Otherwise, we'll take the stamina as well, but I would like speed to come back. I didn't lose that much points, but I did lose a lot of points from this, so... Or effectively a lot of speed. So, let's find out. 14%. No way I failed 2 relative 14%, right? Okay, good. And off we go. So, here's hoping I don't need power because we're doing front runner. But if we get passed by someone before the final spurt, we could end up not getting first, essentially. So we're gonna rest here. Well rested? Nope, just regular rest. For those who don't know, there are 3 types of rest, or actually 4 really, if you include bad things that can happen, I think. But really 3. So you can rest and recover 70, which is well rested. You can rest and... We'll go for wits here. You can rest and do the normal rest and get 50 energy back. Or you can get sleep deprived, as the event is called, and only recover 30 energy, which pretty much is RNG. I don't think there's anything that really affects whether or not you'll get well rested, sleep deprived, or regular rests, but hey. Again, if nothing else, I'll try to drop tidbits here and there with as much truth as I know. I'm just going to do this. If we have URA long races, then let's do this. If we have medium instead, yeah. I don't remember if... Oh, we didn't get enough fans again. But I wonder if there is an Uma Musume who naturally goes into long URAs. There's no way there's not one, right? From what I hear, you have to usually force yourself into a long one. Yeah, and we did have a lot of mediums, actually, out of curiosity, just to see what the game says. Yeah. Would like more wit, but we needed the stamina and the speed, and that's what we built for, so... Shrug! But anywho. On a random note, the reason why I don't have my game audio up louder is because robots are kind of angry if you, well, one, are silent through certain BGMs of the game, but also are just robots pick up the BGM of the game, particularly lies. But sometimes even I think even just the pre-race themes, robots can be mad at you. So as a content creator, I'm just trying to be safe, especially by just continuing to talk. But as we have a good chance of winning this race, we'll let this play out and see what happens. Again, to repeat, I would do the whole run, but if I see things are turning into an interesting way, usually I feel like I'm on track, I'll start recording as we get rushed here, and yeah, you'll see whatever part of the run I record, usually from a starting point over to the end of the run, whether I succeed or fail. But I would like successes. So, we do need, I would say, at least 2 stamina recovery skills. Again, at this point, I'm just really going through the motions of calling out things for myself. I feel very sure that more than a few things I've said have little tidbits or nuances that were incorrect. But again, this is for no one else than myself to really start learning. But yeah, getting rushed in the middle of the race isn't great. Rather get rushed than a late start most of the time, but rushed is, you don't want to get rushed either. Can you be demoted style during rushed? I know you can be or you can be sent forward in style in rush, but hey. Or in Japanese, I think it was called kakari, but anywho. Yeah, we don't have the power for this, so here's crossing our fingers and hoping. Preferably would like to pop a skill, but if we don't need it, that'd be cool. I feel like we would, though. Well, let's see. We are going forward, but when Ogre Cap decides to just run faster, I guess we just suffer. And I think I have clocked at least twice, so we don't have a lot of clocks left. I also see, I think, Special Week pulling ahead as well. If that was Special Week? Hey, nice straightaway recovery right at the end there. But we got 4th. So, last clock? Yep. 2 more clocks left. I'll pop them. I swear I'm not doing it just because I'm recording right now, but I still have a bunch of clocks left, so, well, it's not really a lot of clocks if you're gonna continue doing training like I am. Because if you don't know, you have 1 free clock use per day, or it's free to retry once per day. Period. That's the end of the sentence. I could attempt to go back, but I think we want to stick with front runner. If not, I'll switch styles, but I'm pretty sure I don't have the power to make the next one work. I can do it for fun, if nothing else. But again, for all I know, if I fail this race and clock again, and then I decide to switch styles, for all I know, we could just get really unlucky and maybe get a late start while being rushed, while we're doing the, I think, Pace Runner is Super Creek's natural A aptitude style. So, but otherwise not getting rushed would probably help out the most here. Because I think even funny enough, even in this medium race, I think we're barely, if not just under the stamina requirement. As odd as that may sound. But if it's 2,000, maybe even 2,400 meters or less, we might have enough stamina. Again, this is keeping in mind that you have extra stamina given to you by the URA scenario specifically. But, shrug, here's hoping. Okay, well, thankfully we are proccing skills. I think if you have 200 wits, or is it 300 wits, you have a 70% chance, 70-something% chance to proc skills in general. Again, I forgot the exact calculations. I'm just regurgitating the numbers I've read so far and kind of giving the average. We could get passed up here because TM Opera O does that. So here's hoping. Pop another skill. It could even be a blue skill. Otherwise, keeping this far ahead would be nice as well. Either way, I think... So if nothing else, if I were to get overpassed here, it would be a matter of increasing my speed. But if these skills proc, I think we're perfectly fine. Wow, TM Opera O was catching up though. So I guess I will put it into speed, especially since I have all these blue skills, even though my wits is relatively low. So, and yeah, nice little materials here for upgrades. But yeah, we're gonna take a quick look. Do we have one more goal race left? Why do I think we do? Let's find out. Yeah, we do. Arima, Kinen. So just doing a quick check. 3 turns, and then right into URA we go, although it depends. Basically, you still want to look at your calendar. Go everywhere that pops into your head. But, yeah, with that little bit of stamina, I'll be looking for speed. Just making sure, though. 2,500. We should still be okay stamina-wise, so we're just going to Ooh. We're going to rest. I know we're giving up our friendship training here, but if we can speed train for the other 2, then that would be great. Alternatively, I could have looked for wits during events, but I didn't. Well, that's interesting. We have a lot of guts, but I'm just going numbers here, so shrug. We would have gotten more speed out of just doing speed training, but yeah. So let's do this. Oh my goodness, just silence. We'll take it. Might as well. An overall increase of about 5% to our total speed, but hey. Or is this the last upgrade event, holiday season? Either way, I know we don't have enough fans, so shrug. You know what, just to be safe, I'm going to look for a skill. If we can get one. I don't think we can. And if we can, it's not going to be for anything. Yeah, because we're entering a long race now. We're entering a long race, and none of these are going to help me because we're doing a front runner Super Creek, which is not normal. If you have your Super Creek potential increased, you should probably be trying to play by design. And yeah, as you can see here, we're not looking very likely. So yeah, we're gonna find out what happens. Overall, the quick little speed notes here, if you want some information, is that your biggest rivals in URA finals will have around 550 in each stat. So if you go over that, then you outstat them, you stat gap them. But if you don't, you want to somehow beat them in other areas. So yeah, this doesn't look promising. I didn't get to increase my speed much, and I think this Daiwa Scarlet is also a front runner, even though they usually give you a Pace Chaser Daiwa Scarlet, but hey. And I think that's a generic, so yeah. Looking at Daiwa Scarlet and then looking for anyone like Meijin McQueen there. Just looking to pass up. There's TM Opera O way in the back, who's usually like Simbly Rudolph, or Simbly Rudolph can be played late chaser as well, but I'm looking for at least 3 skill uses that are not within like 100 meters of the finish line. And if I still lose with that, then, well, we'll find out what happens. So, we get passed by Daiwa Scarlet. Here, crossing my fingers and hoping we have enough power to deal with this, because we are no longer in first. From what I've looked into, yeah, if you're in first, you don't normally, or you're not using a lot of your power. Obviously, you'll still use it during the final spurt because you're accelerating on top of using up your stamina and or guts helps with your stamina consumption during the final spurt. But if you're going to build up guts anyway, you might as well build up speed and stamina, and then power depending on if you need it. But needing is a very specific thing. Specifically, again, if you're using styles that are further in the back, if you just need power in general, just for that last part of the final spurt. Otherwise, you're usually just building speed anyway. So yeah, we did pop some of our skills. We are slowly running back, as we're now in the final spurt, but this is where Meijin McQueen and TM Opera O can pop up. I think that's also, I see someone running off the outside, but here's hoping. Yep, there's Oguri Cap, and yep, that's Oguri Cap. Well, hey, and then, yeah, I forgot. I want to say Kita-san Black, but I don't know if I'm absolutely correct as we get 6th here. So, we do have one more clock, we might as well, although looking just really quickly, yeah, oh, Narita Brian, I'm going absolutely insane. But anywho, I'm thinking of something else. Maybe I just have the support card in my brain and I just have that image superimposed. For giggles, yeah, let's run pace. This does help us out a little bit, and we don't have a lot of power, but maybe it's enough. This does ruin some of our skills that we have specifically for the front runner, but if we don't have enough wits to proc them reliably anyway, then yeah. So one might wonder, what's the point of playing farther styles? I think one of the bigger parts of it is that your Uma Musume essentially is conserving more stamina before using it all up, which from what I see obviously helps out with certain skill proc requirements, because certain skills proc off of passing other girls. So if you're playing a front runner, you can't proc a skill that passes girls if you're staying in first. But you don't always need that. If you just outpace them, then sure. But again, especially if it's, say, Sumili Rudolph, in which you want to proc her skill, especially when you upgrade it, then yeah, you want to put her in a position. She's probably not going to be a front runner, and she doesn't have the aptitude at base to do so anyway. But as we sit here, here's hoping. We are blocked because I think there are quite a bit of pace. There are a lot of pace chasers, so this could be a problem because we don't have a lot of power, but here's hoping. I would say you would preferably want about 450 power at this point, likely even more, but if I were to tweak, that would be the tweak I do, to add in about 50-70 more power here. Otherwise, what we are doing is that we're just standing in front of other girls like TM Opera O, but yeah, falling behind here is not what we want. We want the boost that comes here. And since we were normally a front runner, that doesn't seem to be the play case, especially if you get blocked here, but let's find out. Even if you're running on the outside like our Super Creek is right now, you don't know for sure if you're going to be blocked. You can still be counted as blocked, but as Super Creek is finally pulling forward, if Tamama Cross just decides to sprint forward, then we lose. Which seems to be the case, so yeah, we're not getting anything. There's Simply Rudolph, by the way. I think she procced hers as well, but Tamama Cross gets to just pop off here. So without further ado, again, not bad for my first Super Creek. Probably want to put in more stamina, if nothing else, considering this race is longer than the previous ones. But I think, yeah, so this is because I did Pace Chaser, so that's not really an accurate thanks, Tazuna. I do appreciate it, but yeah, I could have done a lot better. So yeah, without further ado, I will be continuing to do stuff. If I add another like 0.5 video, I will. That will likely be a more successful Super Creek, but if I'm not, then well, we're just going to be sitting here. If nothing else, again, these videos exist so that you can see my training style with whatever I have scraping the barrel. Not the bottom of the barrel, but we're scraping the barrel, and then we can get these, we can look at these inspiration as well. 2 stars Pace Chaser, and yeah, we have a race one. But aside from that, not really much else. So without further ado, as we pretty much close out this video soon, I will do one more Super Creek, probably with pretty much no clocks. Otherwise, as I said, I'm looping my inspirations over back towards Gold Ship. And if it looks good, I'll keep doing more Gold Ship runs, because that's essentially what I'm doing. I'm just trying to do Gold Ship stuff, and I'm just aiming for the title. So I think is it 5 million, the first one? I guess we can look now if there's any bonus part to this video. So we'll take a quick look at the titles really quickly here. So as we enter the home screen, and I do need to burn my daily races. I think I have 1 sale left. So if nothing else, yeah, you gotta do your stuff. But if we check the titles here. So if we go over here, so I'm literally waiting until I get another Gold Ship title, but yeah, okay, never mind. 10 million fans. Yeah, 10 million fans, and that's gonna take a bit for me. In fact, I might not even have enough energy replenishments if I really wanted to focus, but it depends. Again, if you have... Another part of having good support cards is, as you saw one of their effects, it's the fan bonus at the end of races. That does give you quite a bit more fans, and if you have multiple support cards doing that, that's part of maybe the title things as Bakshin plays in the background. So yeah, without further ado, again, Let me know if you want to see anything, if you have any questions, criticism, so on and so forth. Otherwise, we will end the video here, and I'd like to thank you for coming by. Not going to take up much more of your time. Bye! No, don't hurt me, robots! Don't hurt me!